everybody, how you doing? It feels so good to be back questioning outdoors. In my previous video, I talked about 5 love languages. If you haven't watched it, you have to go and watch it, because that's going to also help you understand your love language and to also know your partner's love language and know how to flow better with your partner so you can have a very, very, very healthy relationship. Now, having said that, this leads me to the next topic we're going to be talking about today, which is communication. Woo! Please put your hands together. We're talking about something very amazing. Now, we're going to be talking about the dangers of lack of communication and the advantages of effective communication. So I'm going to be starting by what is communication. Communication is the means at which you relate to your partner. There's direct and indirect communication. There's open communication, there's silent communication. For example, you could be in an open place and you just look at your partner, you kind of look at you are communicating in the midst of hundreds. So like I said, communication is how you and your partner relate, how you communicate, how you talk, how you talk about issues, how you communicate basically. So advantage of effective communication, number one, it helps you to be able to understand your partner. It helps you to know your partner, and then you guys are able to have a roundtable discussion and discuss things. It also helps with resolving a resolution of conflict in a very, very healthy manner. So effective communication, the advantage is it helps you to understand your partner. It also helps you to relate better with your partner. For example, your partner says, I don't like you doing this, I don't like you doing that, and you sit down, you're like, okay, you don't want me to do this, you don't want me to do this, but then you keep doing it to me, and then you communicate and come to a healthy place where you guys will come to an understanding and know that, okay, this is how we can build our relationship. And that's why from the beginning of this channel, I've always talked about how to have a healthy relationship with your partner. It is too important, because if you do not have a healthy relationship with your partner, your relationship will just be going side to side and you'll be wondering what's happening, and communication, effective communication is a very, very important role why you would have a healthy relationship. So like I said, number one of the advantages is to be able to talk. Two of you sit down together, talk and resolve your issues. And then another thing is that it helps you to understand the mind of the person you're dealing with, because we don't read minds. For example, you're in a relationship and the other person is not saying anything, you do things and they're like, oh, it's okay, but then you see that they're acting out and you're like, but you told me it was okay, and then you get confused and you're like, but he said it was okay, but she said it was okay. But then it helps to understand the mind of the person when the person opens up and says, babe, this thing you're doing, it affects me in such a way and such, in this way. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Because your partner does not read your mind. That's one thing you should understand. Your partner does not have the ability to read your mind. Yes? So we can only pick your actions based on things that are happening or things that have happened, and we can understand that, oh, maybe that this person is reacting this way because of so and so thing. But then when you have effective communication, you are able to tell the person that, hey, babe, this thing you're doing, or whatever name you call your partner, you're like, I don't like this thing you are doing, it's part of healthy communication, and then you get to understand the mind of the person. Then when that situation arises again, you know that, hey, if I do this, this person will react this way, and then you avoid those things. You avoid, deliberately doing those things, except you do not want to have a healthy relationship. Now, I'm going to be talking about the dangers of lack of communication. Like I pointed out in what I just said, if you don't have communication in a relationship, it can lead to breakup. Let us be honest. Because if two of you are not talking and you are not understanding yourselves, where is the relationship? You need to understand each other. And communication is a very, very, very important tool. So it can lead to breakup. You and your partner just decide that, you know what, I don't understand you. And he's like, oh, I don't understand you. And you just go your separate ways. And then, you know, it can lead to a lot of built up resentment, even after breakup. Some people are not even friends. You can't even call each other on the phone or say, oh, I just got to check on you, what's up, what's going on, you know, even as normal friends. Because that bridge has been burned, because the other person feels, you know, resented, feels hurt, feels broken. Because sometimes lack of communication in relationship can actually break the other person. And some people actually use it as a tool and a weapon to punish their partner. They use it as a tool and a weapon to punish their partner. For example, if their partner does something, they do, oh, silent treatment. And they just go silent for some days. You know, and that builds up resentment in the other person. And the person is like, oh, no, I can't deal with this. I can't do that. Yeah? That's what happens. But if you communicate and two of you are open to wanting to resolve an issue, wanting to communicate and say, oh, don't cross this line, don't cross the line, that is really going to help your relationship, and you would be able to have a wonderful, wonderful relationship, a wonderful marriage, you know. And I want to just quickly point out something here. If you are seeing the signs of lack of effective communication with the person, especially when you are trying to communicate with the person and the person is not budging, the person is not willing to communicate with you, and you are thinking of entering marriage with the person, I would recommend that you please seek counseling, talk to people, and see if that would be somebody you really want to spend the rest of your life with. Because if you've noticed some red flags when it comes to communication with the person, whether a male or female you want to get married to, and you still feel it's okay with the lack of communication, I point out to you, my dear friend, that it is not okay. You need to speak to one or two people that you consider counselors that you respect before you enter the marriage covenant with that person, because it will get worse in marriage. It's not going to get any better, because if the person doesn't work on it now, there is no guarantee that they're going to work on it when you enter the marriage. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you, not confuse you, about the advantages and disadvantages of lack of communication, and to let you know that you really need to take this seriously, especially in a romantic relationship, because that has to do with matters of the heart. Matters of the heart are very, very sensitive, very delicate, and you don't want to play with your emotions. You don't want to be getting hurt. You don't want to putting your heart in such a place where it's getting hurt, it's getting broken. So you need to understand that if you're not communicating with a person in a relationship, then that is a major red flag. Especially, like I said, if you are the one who is trying so hard to make the relationship work and the other person is not willing to communicate, then I think, my dear friend, you need to look into it and ask yourself really tough questions so that you don't go further and get bitter and resentful towards that person. So thank you so much, and my prayer for you, my dear friend, is that you will be able to work in your communication with your partner and be able to resolve conflicts healthily. So the next video, I'm going to be talking about how to resolve healthy conflicts. And let's be honest with ourselves. We live in a generation where so many heartbreaks, so many people committing suicide, people killing people in relationships, people doing all kinds of diabolical things. So we need to all be careful to protect our hearts, not to put ourselves in a position where we would be heartbroken. So the next video, I'm going to be talking about how to handle conflicts, how to resolve conflicts healthily. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not subscribed to it. Turn on the notification bell to know when I upload more videos, and always stay tuned. Thank you so much. Bye.